Hello, hello. I think we are live, which is great. I just now need to find out if you can hear me and see me okay. So if you can, it would be great if you can just say in the Q&A box whether you can hear and see me okay. Can you hear me, lovely people? Let me see. I'm going to take that as a yes, and I'm going to kick things off. And if you have any questions throughout, please ask away, because we're here to help. So for those of you who don't know me or haven't been watching Holly's and my videos, my name is Suzy Ashworth and I am the pregnancy coach. And co-founder of the Calm Birth School. And again, for those of you who don't know any of my kind of backstory, I am a hypnotherapist, a psychotherapist. Obviously, I am a pregnancy coach, and a hypnobirthing extraordinaire is how I like to think of it anyway. I'm also a home hypnobirthing mum of two. I've got a little boy who is about to turn 4 in February. His name is Caesar, and I have a little girl who is about to turn 2 in January, and I have an 11-year-old stepson. So basically it's really bloody busy in my household for most of the time. This evening, Holly and I decided to open the doors of the Calm Birth School for the next hour or so. It might be slightly less, it might be slightly more, depending on how many questions that we have. I think really just to say thank you. We have both been overwhelmed and humbled by the amazing response that we have had to our free classes from both our students and also the people that have literally just taken the first 3 classes. And we have just been really amazed by the response, really happy by the response. You know, our passion is to help women, as many women as possible, from all kind of 4 corners of the world, to feel empowered and confident and really just excited about creating a calm and positive birth experience. So to see the stories that we've already have coming in from our students, and then have such positive feedback from the women that we have in the Calm Birth Yes Please Facebook group, and you know what we're getting from our emails is amazing. It tells us that we're doing the right thing, and it's exactly why we're doing what we're doing. So we just wanted to say a big thank you and share with you something that was originally just going to be for the Calm Birth students. So we run masterclasses. This is the first one. Masterclasses every other week for our students, where we get to dive in a little bit more deeply into some of the questions and some of the subject matters that we broach in the videos and within our handbook, as well as being able to invite experts in that can share with you guys their knowledge on anything that's really related to pregnancy, birth and the postnatal period. And it just all feeds into our ethos of wanting you to feel as confident and as knowledgeable and as prepared as possible for you entering into your birth. So yeah, tonight we thought, off the back of some questions that we were getting in the student area about visualization, that we would have our first masterclass on the power of visualization during pregnancy and birth. Because we thought if they're asking questions, our in-client, the people that we see in person sometimes ask questions about it, that you guys may have questions too. And particularly for those of you who aren't going to go on to do the full course, we really want to give you as much of a foundation as possible for you to create a really positive birth experience. So that is why we are here. This is my first masterclass, or my first hangout, so I'm quite nervous, as well as being very excited. If there are any tech issues, I'm going to apologise in advance. I'm going to do my best to sort them out, but really I don't have much of a clue about this stuff. So yeah, please bear with me. Yes, so today's masterclass, we're going to look at what visualisation is, why it's important, why we include it on the syllabus, how you can do it. We're hopefully going to kind of squash any of the worries about whether you're doing it right or how to do it. For those of you that stay on to the end of the hangout, I've got a nice little surprise for you. And of course, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the course. So kicking off, what is visualization? Quite simply, it is our ability to create a mental image of something. It is, yeah, it really is as simple as that. It definitely isn't hoping for something. It's not wishing for something. It's not just thinking positively about something. And I think that often people get mixed up between having a positive view of something and actually visualizing the outcome of something. And I think that that's probably the key thing for you to take away, that visualizing is about really envisaging yourself in a future event and really creating as much detail about achieving the goal that you desire, which is obviously very, very different in the case of pregnancy and birth than just kind of wishing for a lovely pregnancy or wishing for a lovely birth. People kind of get their knickers in a twist a bit about it, worrying that they can't do it. And the reality is if you have ever read a book, maybe I'm going to rephrase it actually, are there any people on the hangout that have never read a book? I'm waiting to see if somebody pops up. Because if there is anybody on the hangout that has never read a book, then I'm going to ask you to leave the hangout. I'm being serious. If you haven't read a book before, then this isn't the place for you. If you have read a book, which I expect all of you have done, many books in your time, then, you know, whenever you read the words and you create the picture in your mind, you are visualizing. It's the same even when you watch a TV program or watch a film and you know what is about to happen 2 steps before it actually happens. You can see the lady walking down the aisle with the hero, before it happens in the film. Then you're visualizing, you're imagining what is going to happen next. So everybody has the ability to visualize. Get stuck sometimes is that we take something that we are doing on a subconscious level kind of all day every day and we make it conscious when we say, right, now is the time to sit down and imagine your ideal birth, or imagine whatever it is in whatever situation you are. As soon as we bring kind of conscious awareness to it, we start analysing things and we start to analyse whether we're doing it right or not. Rest assured, you do know how to visualize because you do it frequently. But on today's Hangout, I'm going to give you some really clear steps to follow through so that when you are thinking about your birth, in this case, that you will have some really clear guidelines and it should become easier for you. So why do we use it? Why have we included it as part of the syllabus? Basically, in our classes in the first week, which hopefully some of you will have seen, we talk about the brain not knowing the difference between reality and our imagination. So whenever we act out an event in our mind, when we are in a deeply relaxed state, what we do is create new neural pathways. And essentially what that means in kind of very plain English is every time we create a neural pathway, we are creating almost like a future memory or a learned behaviour. So that when we actually do something similar in real life, we our body is primed to respond in the same way as what we have been imagining. Does that all make sense? If it doesn't, please, write me a question or say that it's not clear, and I will try to make it clearer. But essentially, whenever we kind of act out something in our mind, we create a new neural pathway, and that neural pathway creates a future memory, so that when we then have a similar situation in real life, we go back to that memory that we have created and we act in a similar way to what we have imagined. Now, this isn't something from a kind of new age movement or kind of any hippie kind of weird stuff. And I should say that we kind of throughout all of our marketing, we talk about not really doing all of the hippie shizzle stuff, and we don't have anything against hippies. We love hippies as much as we love the next person, but we want to make it clear that these kind of tools and techniques, you don't need to be knitting your own hummus, as Holly puts it, to get it. This stuff is based in real scientific fact. So, elite athletes use the power of visualization to work through their actions before they'll have a big event. Actors use visualization. Jim Carrey has spoken at length about how he visualized his way to his first $1 million check. And most importantly, Oprah talks about visualization. And if Oprah talks about it, then, who are we to argue she is the queen? We use it in pregnancy, but you can use the tool or this technique in kind of any area of your life where you are looking to achieve something that you haven't done before. And, visualizing can really help you step into that event or that moment before it takes place, so that when it happens on the day, it feels so much easier. Visualization provides us with clarity, with focus, and with confidence. And all of those things are so important when we are enjoying our pregnancies and preparing to give birth, and going into the day that we meet our babies for the first time. So in many cases, the visualization tools that we use are really helping us to retrain the way that we think about birth, particularly if we come from a very negative standpoint, and help to reinforce all of the positive things that we talk to you about, and positive things that you are to enhance a positive expectation of birth. Now, the other good thing about visualization is that you don't have to believe in this stuff for it to work. Like I say, this isn't about positive thinking. We explain that the mind works and learns new things through imagery and emotion. And as I said before, it can't tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So for every thought and image that we create in our mind, there is a corresponding physical and chemical response in the body, which is why, you know, if we have a nightmare, for example, our bodies respond in exactly the same way. So, you know, our palms will feel sweaty, our heart will be beating. You know, if we are imagining that we're being chased through the woods by a pack of wolves, you know, it acts in the same way as if we really were being chased through the woods by a pack of wolves. So if the mind and body can work that way in a negative situation, you know, it works in exactly the same way when we are thinking more positively. So I hope that bit makes sense. So how do we do it? So I'm just going to kind of lay it out in 4 very simple steps. And as I say, if you have any questions or if anything's unclear, then please fire away. So there are a number of ways that you can do it, and I will talk a little bit more about how we do things and how we kind of help our students with the visualisation the kind of Calm Birth School way. But for those of you who aren't doing the course, the first thing that you can do is grab a pen and a piece of paper and write down your ideal birth story. Now, it really doesn't need to be war and peace. You know, some people like to go into lots of detail when they write it down on paper, and that's fine. And it is important to write it down on paper rather than, you know, type it up. Some people just use bullet points, and, you know, either or is fine. I think probably the thing to be mindful of is, whilst you can kind of put in how many candles you have out and the lighting and that type of thing, it's more important for you to be thinking about how you're feeling and writing down how you're feeling during each stage of your ideal birth scenario. And what we would recommend that you do is write it down from the minute you feel your first surge to the moment that you hold your baby in your arms for the very first time. And alongside those, the feeling part is the bit that is probably the most important thing, and it's writing down those emotions that you are feeling kind of during each part of your birth. You know, how excited do you feel when you feel that first surge? How relaxed are you as you realise that it really is happening rather than it being another false alarm? You know, how comfortable and in the zone did you feel when you got in the pool or you told your partner that it was time to dim the lights? You know, how serene did you feel? How, you know, overwhelmed with joy and happiness did you feel when you finally held your baby in your arms? Write those things down. And even as you're writing them, take the time to kind of feel that emotion as you are writing it down. You know, ideally we want you to be in tears by the end of it because you were so overwhelmed with how beautiful it all is. It doesn't matter if you're not in tears, but, you know, the more you can really draw on the emotion, the more powerful the visualization becomes. Some people are not particularly visual people. I'm not a hugely visual person. I've been kind of doing this stuff now for around 4 years, and it's only really been in the last 6 months that I see pictures. Now, I'm not going to lie, to be able to see a picture is more effective than not. But really, you know, we say it in our MP3s, you know, to get a sense or a feeling of what is going on during your pregnancy is equally as important as being able to see the image of it. One thing we can, if you kind of get really like, well, I don't know how I'm going to feel, I've got no idea what it's going to look like, this is my first time, first thing I would say is pretend you do know, pretend there is a part of you that does know what it's going to feel like. And if that still feels really alien to you, go onto YouTube and have a look at some hypnobirths, and then start to superimpose yourself onto, into that experience. So that should, give you a little bit of a starting point if you find it difficult to picture yourself, imagine yourself. So that's the first thing. Write down your ideal birth story and add lots of feeling to it. The second thing that you need to do is be really relaxed. Use your calm birth school breathing or your wave breathing, so that you can really lean into it. There's absolutely no way you're going to have an effective visualization session if you're bringing all of the anxiety and stress and worry and just the baggage from the day into your visualization session. It's not going to happen. So by focusing your attention on the breath and using your calm birth school breathing techniques, that should all just fall away. And again, the more that you practice that, the more you're going to notice yourself being less affected by stress when you start birthing, which is really important. The third thing that we recommend that you do is get really, really vivid. I kind of mentioned it earlier on. Some people don't see, but if you can kind of get a feeling or a sense of what that part of your experience is going to feel like, and then incorporate as many of the other senses or your other senses that you can, then you start to create a really 3D experience. So, we want you to see, we want you to hear, we want you to smell. People are like, you want me to smell? Hopefully when you're listening to your MP3s and you're relaxing, you're using perhaps a scented room spray, or you have a nice candle on. We want you to imagine that smell when you are doing your visualization. We want you to taste it. As many of your senses as you can incorporate into that experience, the stronger an anchor you create, the stronger or the deeper that neural pathway is that you are creating, the more chances that you have to really dive back into that once you go into labour. So make it a 3D experience, so you get a full 360 of what's happening. The fourth part of a really effective visualization is, one, imagine seeing the experience, so your birth, through your eyes. So imagine, seeing your birth partner there, or what it's like to get into the pool, or what is going on in your surroundings through your eyes. And once you've kind of got a really good sense of that, almost see yourself drifting out of your body and then watching yourself. So, and then as you are watching yourself, noticing how calm you are, noticing how relaxed you are, notice what your breathing's like. Literally take a mental note of the things that you are observing of yourself whilst you're birthing, and then swap between the two, seeing it from your standpoint and then seeing it as if you were watching it like you were watching a film or a movie of yourself. Now, the one thing I'll kind of repeat again is just notice how you feel. It's so important, the emotion to identify the emotions that you're feeling kind of throughout that experience. And the stronger you can make those emotions, as I say, the deeper that neural pathway becomes. Now, what we do kind of with the Calm Birth School course is that we provide our students with 5 MP3s. So if you do find yourself, that you find kind of creating the story yourself difficult, by listening to the MP3s, we take you through kind of a whole series of different stories and journeys where you can imagine yourself in those situations. And they cover things from letting go of the fear and anxiety of birth, to seeing yourself giving birth, so birth rehearsal, to imagining the different kind of strengths and traits that you will need whilst you're birthing. And sometimes people are like, oh yeah, but I'm falling asleep, or my mind is wandering off and I'm thinking about the shopping, is it working? And absolutely it is working. When you're listening to an MP3, so a guided visualization, and your mind is wandering off, that's the conscious part of your mind. And the MP3s are designed to work with the subconscious part of your mind. So it's all going in, even if you find yourself being distracted. If you are not listening to MP3s and you are kind of doing this exercise on your own and you find yourself wandering off, the first thing to say is don't get stressed about it. Don't beat yourself up or kind of be like, oh, I'm doing it wrong, it's just not happening for me. Just acknowledge that your mind has wandered, and then bring your attention back to your breathing. You know, get into a good space with that for a minute or so, and then take yourself back to your visualization. And remember that you've written it down. So even if it means that you kind of open your eyes, look back at where you're supposed to be, and then close your eyes and then refocus. It's all good. You know, with all of the techniques that we teach, if you're not familiar with them and you're not used to doing them, it takes a while to get the hang of it. The best way to get the hang of it is to just practice, practice, practice. You cannot visualize your birth story too much. In an ideal world, when you're first getting going, we'd recommend that you spend a good 20 minutes to half an hour doing your envisaging, and you know, do it for at least 3 times a week, you know. And then once you get into it and you find yourself able to kind of, you find yourself that you can evoke that you know, evoke that visualization much more easily, then you can just dip in and out of it whenever you've kind of got a spare moment. Just get there, hold the feeling for a little bit, and then move on with the rest of your day. As I say, you can't do it too much, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes, and the more of a future memory you get to create. So it's all good. So some people are like, how do I know if I'm doing it right? If you follow these 4 steps, then you're doing it right. And again, if your mind wanders, it's, you know, it's all good. You just acknowledge, you release the thought, you let go, and then you come back to it. So to recap, you want to write down your birth story or whatever goal. The nice thing about the majority of the skills that we teach you is that they are life skills. So whatever it is you're planning, if you've got a public speaking event, if you are, I don't know, you've got a big project coming up and, you know, you need it to go well, it's, you know, you envisage the steps that it's going to take you to get there, and you know, you write those things down. You get into a nice, deeply relaxed state before you kind of go into your session. So, you know, after you've had a bath or when everybody's out of the house, you know that you're not going to be disturbed. You add lots of feeling and emotion and all of your 5 senses to that visualization. So you kind of create a really great 3D, 360-degree image or, you know, thought. And point. Oh, and then you see it from yourself. You see it from your standpoint, kind of looking out, and then you choose to see it almost as if you are watching yourself on a film. So they are the kind of 4 main points to visualization. It really isn't rocket science, but it does take a little bit of practice. So we are almost done. I am going to tell you guys a little bit more about the course, because for those of you who kind of haven't been doing the first classes that we have given away for free, Holly and I have done a full course. We've created a full course which consists of 13 different videos, of which are sent to your inbox over a 4-week period, which enable you to, as I said in the beginning, really feel really prepared and knowledgeable and confident about your birth experience. We had a really lovely testimonial from somebody who is based in South Africa, who in the end ended up having quite a challenging birth experience. But she said in her testimonial that everything that we had talked about came up, and she was able to navigate what was a challenging birth really positively because she was prepared. And that was just absolutely amazing for us. And that is why we are doing this. We want to be able to help and support as many women as possible. And for that reason, we have extended our early bird price of £99, which works out about $155. We were going to put the price up at 9 o'clock this evening, but we are extending that till 10. So yeah, we hope as many of you as possible are able to kind of join us on this journey and know that we are here to support you as much as we can. And now for the little surprise I have for you, I've got a little guided visualization. So if you have some headphones, if you're not listening on headphones, grab some headphones and I'm going to show you how easy it is to create a really lovely picture of your birth. So I'm going to wait for just a minute or so for everybody to kind of get prepared. And if you have any questions about what I have been talking about, please fire away. I'm really happy to answer them all. And yeah, in just a minute or so, we can have a nice relaxation. Okay. So just allow yourself to be as comfortable as possible and just begin to focus on your breath, gently breathing in an increasing sense of calm and ease, breathing out any worries, stress or anxiety. And whenever you're ready, just allow your eyes to gently close. That's it. And just know for the next 10 minutes or so, there's really nothing of any importance for you to do right now, except listen. Listen to the sound of my voice, or the spaces in between the sounds, which in your own very special way can help you to relax even more deeply right now. That's it. And I wonder if you can just begin to notice how much more relaxed the toes on that foot are feeling right now. As I enjoy the well-earned rest, finally the load has been lifted. And I wonder if you can imagine just all of the muscles and ligaments in that toe, just releasing and letting go right now. And just how amazing that feels. You can do that, can you not? And as you enjoy the sense of peace and relaxation, I wonder if you can begin to notice how easy it is to send that sense of calm, peaceful tranquility up and down your entire body, flowing like a gentle river of relaxation, up through your calves, in your knees, around your knees, to the backs of your knees, the muscles in your thighs relaxing, up into your back, just muscles and ligaments, just all just becoming looser, more relaxed and pliable. You can send that sense of comfort into your neck, releasing the shoulders, up and down and around your head. Each and every cell in your body just sighing with the relief and release of relaxation. And that's it. And as you sit or lay there, enjoying the sense of support that you get, I wonder if you can begin to imagine yourself standing at the top of a beautiful staircase. That's it. A beautiful staircase with a beautiful banister, safe and sturdy, but totally beautiful. And in a few moments' time, you'll hear me count you down each and every one of those wonderful stable steps. And with each descending number, you can just notice yourself feeling even more deeply relaxed. And so, 10, 9, just enjoying that sense of tranquil relaxation. 8, as you move serenely and steadily. 7, almost floating down the stairs. 6, and the closer you get to the bottom of those stairs, the more you begin to notice just a sense of excitement. 5, as you're unsure what to expect as you reach the bottom of those stairs, but you know that it's something that's going to serve you very, very well. 4, in the weeks and months as you approach your birth. 3, almost at the bottom of the staircase now, feeling so very deeply relaxed. 2, and 1. And at the bottom of this beautiful staircase, you notice you are now standing in a hallway. In that hallway, you see a sign saying the hallway of learning. And along either side of that hallway are many doors. And as you begin to walk along the doors, that sense of excitement wells up in you once more. As there's something behind one of those doors that is especially there for you. And you know that that gift is going to be something very, very useful. And as you walk along that hallway, when the time is right, you stop at the door that you know you are destined for. And that's it. And I invite you to push the door open. Feel the sturdiness of the door as you look to walk in. And you find yourself standing in amidst the most magnificent of libraries. There are books from floor to ceiling. And this library is the most sumptuous, luxurious place that you have ever seen. Beautiful tables made out of whatever material you desire. Everything just looks comfortable and luxurious, so beautiful, and you feel intensely special just being in that magnificent room. Hundreds of years of history and knowledge you are surrounded by. Or just learning by being there in that moment. That's it. And in the corner of the room, you notice an incredibly comfortable looking chair that you just have to sit down in. And as you sink into that chair, you feel even more deeply relaxed, mind and body open to receiving everything that you need to receive right now. And that's it. Feel the texture of the chair. Just get a real sense of what it feels like to feel incredibly peaceful, content, comfortable, ready, open. That's it. And as you enjoy that sense of comfort, as you sink even more deeply into that chair, as you look to the side of you, you notice that there is a book, a beautifully bound book. And in that book, you know that there is a message for you. And so I invite you to pick that book up and just flick through the pages until you notice a note. And that's it. And on that note, you recognize the handwriting. That handwriting is your handwriting. And on the note is a message from the you from the future. And that message tells you exactly what you need to do to prepare over the next few weeks, maybe months, to create the positive experience you desire. And when you've heard or read that message, and it is clear for you the steps that you need to take, you can put that note back in the book. Feeling content. You know exactly what it is that you need to do. And that's it. And as soon as you're ready to leave that room, you can walk out of the library and find yourself in the most beautiful place in nature. And that's it. Outside, feeling the warmth of the air on your skin, the temperature of the air on your face, drinking in the beautiful colours, just getting a sense of what it feels like to just be in the most beautiful, serene place in nature. You feel completely comfortable and at ease. That's it. And as you drink in the sights and sounds, I invite you to take some time right now to tune in to your beautiful baby and let them know that you know exactly what you need to do between now and the time you need to birth. Just to create that positive, relaxed, comforting environment for both you and your baby. I'm going to benefit from so much. And I will wait here quietly while you do that. And as you talk and bond with your baby, I wonder if you can already begin to notice a warm white light at the top of your head, moving all the way down your entire body, enveloping your baby, sending you both the feeling of comfort, security, peace, and safety. That's bringing you that much closer together. Perfect. And in a few moments' time, as we draw this lovely guided visualization to a close, you'll hear me count up from 1 to 5. And with each ascending number, you can just begin to feel the energy returning to your body. 1, 2. Just feeling that energy returning to your toes and feet. 3, 4. Back into your fingers and hands. And 5. Just allow your eyes to gently open, feeling calm, relaxed and at ease. And hopefully pleasantly surprised by just how easy you found it to relax and tune into your amazing visualization skills. And so that, my lovely people, is us. We are done. So I hope that you have enjoyed the session today. Yeah, come and say hello on the Facebook page. Yeah, let me know what you thought. Drop me an email at info@theconvertschool.com if you liked it. If you want some other helpful tips, we are here to serve and want to. And yeah, that really is, yeah, we are done. So thank you. Thank you for bearing with me. And yeah, thank you, the tech gods, for not dropping out on me when we needed you most. And yeah, please, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop myself or Holly a line at info@theconvertschool. And if you want to get in before we raise the price, then yeah, you have the next hour and 10 minutes before we raise the price to £150 or $225, wherever you are in the world. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Say bye-bye.